Sharing is Caring by Itslivybear, Chapter 11. So, all of you were wrong. Internships. Gran Torino was, according to All Might's reaction, a terror. But Izuku had dealt with terrors all his life. He could do this. That was fine. Leaving for a week to learn more about One for All was a good thing. Getting away from Bakugo and the soulmates, he only knew one, and that was terrifying, was also a bonus. Then Aiwazawa pulled him aside before he could go to lunch. Midoriya, I need to talk to you. Oh God, he was going to get expelled. Please sit. This might be a while. Izuku could only swallow and sit. Was he shaking? It felt like he was shaking. Aiwazawa looked at him with an unreadable expression before he sighed. Midoriya, do you have soulmates? He froze. I don't have a soulmate, he whispered, not trusting his voice beyond that level. Aiwazawa seemed to notice the careful wording and sat back slowly. I'm married, as you might have guessed from the hospital, to Hazashi, President Mike, but he's not my soulmate. His eyes grew sad, and he looked away. Izuku couldn't help but stare. I grew up not realizing I had a soulmate. I couldn't do anything he could do, as far as I was aware, but then I met him at UA. He ran his hand through his hair and smiled softly. Shikakumo Obioro was his name. He was loud and boisterous and everything I was not. His quirk was Cloud. His hair was blue and wispy, sticking up and wafting in the wind, and he could make and manipulate clouds. He was going to be a hero. And my quirk could help with that. Passing through his clouds would erase your quirk, and he used that to great effect. He brought me out of my shell and was the glue that held the friend group together. Izuku swallowed. What happened? He died. Aiwazawa flicked his black eyes to Izuku's green ones and didn't flinch like he did at the Stark admission. In our second year internships, there was a villain attack. There were children there, and we evacuated them. Then a building collapsed on him. Clouds and Eraser they couldn't stop that. He closed his eyes and smiled wearily. I didn't want a universe-prescribed person. Everyone called me a villain for my quirk, and part of me didn't want anyone to have to be associated with that. The other part of me didn't think that I deserved loved. I've come to realize Obrio wasn't just my soulmate, he was my first friend, and he was everyone else's friend too. We all took it hard. He touched the goggles around his neck. These were his. Izuku had no idea where this is going, but he wasn't sure he liked it. If Obrio had been soulmates with anyone else, Namari, Hazashi, Tensei, he might have been able to get out of there and live. For all he was good at, using Eraser in conjunction with Cloud, it wasn't enough to save him. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Maybe if I could use Cloud too, he would have been fine. But he didn't, and I didn't, and then he was gone. Losing him, even when I didn't want him in the first place, hurt more than anything. It took all three of my friends to pull me out of that spiral. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Izuku slowly shook his head, but deep down, he kinda did. He was terrified. You manifested your quirk at the entrance exam. Izuku froze. There are only a couple reasons a quirk would manifest that late, but Midoriya, you are not in the best mental state. They want to help. They are a universe built-in support system. I don't know what in your life caused you to deny them so fully to the point of never using their quirks, but it's going to get you and others killed. He paused. Is that why you don't speak? Because of Shinzo's brainwashing? Izuku refused to nod. He wasn't their soulmate. He wasn't. They can help. They want to help. Even if you don't want to be romantically involved with them, they know how to use their own quirks, at the very least. Even if you never become more than acquaintances, they are part of you, and denying that is a bad idea in this line of work. If you're serious about becoming a hero, then you have to use every tool at your disposal. Izuku just sat there, staring at the ground and trying not to shake. Aizawa let the silence drag on for a minute before sighing. Just think about it. You can go to lunch now. Izuku was out of the classroom immediately. He had to get away. He blinked and looked around that empty hallway. Where was he? He didn't recognize this. Sure, all of the hallways kinda looked the same, but looking out of the windows revealed a part of the grounds he didn't usually see. The bell rang, but there were new students in the hallway. Oh, he had missed lunch. That had been the final bell to get back to class. Aizawa would be so mad. Hey there, Connie. What are you doing here? He jumped about 3 feet into the air at the sudden voice and whirled around. The hallway was empty? Down here! Izuku's eyes dropped to the floor in the corner where it met the wall. There was a face. The face came out of the ground until it revealed to be a boy, tall, with blonde hair and a beaming smile. It looked like he was in a hero costume. Oh, this! He had been looking. Shoot. This class is doing heroics this block. Helpful, so I'm not naked right now. Anyway, what's got you soaked down, honey? Never seen you around. Definitely not in this part of the building. Izuku bit his lip and looked away. Oh! The boy tapped his closed fist into his palm. Right! I'm just a strange man who came out of the floor. Sorry about that. I'm Togata Mario, 3rd year at UA in the hero course. Nice to meet you. Izuku swallowed. Midoriya, first year hero course. The boy grinned. Nice to meet you, Midoriya. You look upset. Want to talk about it or want to be distracted? Class? Class? Oh, don't worry. The teacher likes me. Plus, what kind of hero would I be if I didn't help someone in need? As for you, I'm sure your teacher will understand. Panic attacks are no joke. Oh, he had a panic attack. That explained why he had no idea how he had gotten here. Izuku bit his lip and thought about his options. He could just leave, but this guy was a 3rd year and would no doubt be able to catch him, and then he would definitely get in trouble. On the other hand, he really didn't want to talk about what was bothering him. No one else would understand and would just try to convince him to suck it up and get it over with, meet his soulmates, and let them realize he wasn't worth their time. Distraction? It was barely above a whisper, but Togata seemed to hear it anyway, plopping down cross-legged on the ground with a hum. Right, so my friend Nijiri is super hyper and flies around all the time asking questions. If Yu isn't there to calm her down, she can act so hyper, like she's hyped up on sugar. One time she ambushed a 2nd year and just started going off on him on basic nonsense, speaking way too fast to be understood. The 2nd year's quirk made them produce noble gases when they were stressed, and they accidentally made helium. So Nijiri's voice just kept getting higher and higher pitched until even Tamaki and I couldn't understand her. Yu had to drag her away. It was so funny. Oh, and the other day I accidentally manifested cow hooves when punching someone and knocked them clean out with a hoof print on their face. Beef bowls are delicious though, so I might be adding that to my repartee. Oh, and when we were younger, Tamaki kept falling through his chair because of premeditation. We both gotten better at it, but he got so frustrated that he actually scowled and yelled at me for having the most annoying quirk. He's not wrong. It was pretty annoying when we were younger, but we've done it a lot. I mean, if you watch the sports festival from last year, you might recognize me as the Flasher from 2nd year. Yeah, that was fun, but I got scolded so much. Yuya got a lot of angry emails that day, which is probably why Principal Nezu finally approved the gym uniform for me and Tamaki. Sometimes Tamaki will get so nervous he'll accidentally activate it, but he's been getting better. He hasn't even flashed anyone unintentionally in 3 months. Izuku let the upperclassman's voice wash over him and felt the tension easing out of him. His friends sounded like they got up to a lot of trouble, Togata not an exception, and he found himself smiling softly. Togata just kept rambling about his life and his friends, quirk accidents, and just mundane things, and Izuku relaxed. He didn't know any of these people, but their lives seemed far more simple than his own, and that's what he needed right now. And if he missed a full class period when he finally slipped back into class, Iwasawa didn't comment. Alright, kid, we're going on patrol. Izuku just blinked at the Demetriv elderly hero. Patrol? But why? Gran huffed and smirked. Don't want you developing bad habits by only fighting me, Pipsqueak, so come on, time for patrol. Maybe you'll find some poor unsuspecting criminal to hit with full cowling and get your first arrest under your belt. Yeah, that would be good. Just a simple patrol. Nothing too dangerous.